Okay, brunch babes, we've heard some wild sex rumors like gerbils and butts or people getting off to balloons. But is it real or is it an internet myth? Today we're playing Kink or Urban Legend, where we separate facts from freaky fiction.
Like finally a game I'll play.
Welcome to Not Safe for Brunch. In this podcast, we're here to bring sex, insight, and real-world education to the table unapologetically. Think about it as having those important, unfiltered brunch conversations with your closest friends about sex, relationships, and everything in between. With over 55 years of experience combined in the intimacy industry, helping individuals and couples focus on breaking down barriers, reducing shame, and empowering people to embrace their desires and relationships with confidence. Hi, I'm Coralie. I live in the Vancouver area. I'm a married mama too, half empty nesting, one in, one out. And my secret power is I love a good rabbit hole. I love digging deep and finding the truth or the root cause of a situation.
And I'm Amber. I live in Ontario. I'm married. I'm a mom and a G-ma. And an unapologetic quality of mine is I weed through the fluff and I get to the point.
I love it. I am Vicky. I'm in Manitoba. I'm divorced and I'm re-entering the relationship space. I am a mom to 2 grown-ups, and my magic is making meaningful connections and relationshiping, which of course creates trust.
Today, we're about to test our knowledge of what people are really into or if the internet just has too much free time.
That's right. We've all heard those someone's cousin's friend stories. Like, did you hear about the guy who got stuck in a vacuum cleaner? But we're about to do some fact checking.
So here's how it's going to work. One of us will read a supposed kink or sexual practice, and the other 2 have to guess, is it a real fetish or just a ridiculous urban legend? And of course, if it's real, we're going to have to unpack the who, what, and why.
Warning, you may never look at some household objects the same way again.
That's so true. I used to work in an operating room. Enough said. I've seen it all.
I've done events with nurses and wow, the stories I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Clients that are nurses, friends that are nurses. Man, my favorite story from one of my nurse friends is someone came in with a can of spray paint up their bum. And, and when you have something stuck up there, first they try and give you like muscle relaxers and try and get it out. But if that doesn't work, they have to do surgery. But they were so close. They had this paint can almost out, the spray paint can almost out. And then they heard a pop. It was in backwards, or it was in lid first. So the lid came off. Anyways, that person needed surgery.
Oh my God.
So close.
So close. Anyways, we have 6 rounds we're going to play. So round 1 is Objectophilia. Can you fall in love with a bridge?
Okay. Did you ever see that show where people would have sex or have really strange kinks and that guy that would like make love to his car? You saw that, right?
No, what show is that? I want to watch it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was TLC way back in the day. I will find it for you and send you a clip, but I'm a firm believer that people are into some freaky shit and what you do as long as it's safe is cool. So I'm going to go with a yeah.
I mean, I guess it could be anything though, like not necessarily just a bridge. It could be anything, right? Or is it just a bridge?
No, it's like objects.
Just any object.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to say yes.
Absolutely.
And yes, it is real. And there is a documentary about it, which I wonder if that's what you saw.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe. Now I want to watch it though.
Yeah, I want to watch it too.
This guy got right up underneath his car, like the underbelly of his car, and he would like
the dirty side.
The dirty side, right? Like, what are you doing? Like, just lick the hood or something. It's fine.
So that one is a real kink. A real kink. When you're having a conversation with someone and they're telling you how much they love their favorite coffee mug, you might be like, but how much do you love that coffee mug?
Oh, now that's all I'm going to think about now. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
And listen, I'm not kink shaming in any way, shape, or form. If it works for you, it works for you. If you're not harming anyone, you're not right? Like that. I want to make that really clear. I just think it's really interesting how some people can really connect to something inanimate, or we're gonna continue on. But you know, you do you. If you're not hurting anyone and you're not taxing the medical system, give her.
Absolutely. And you know, that coffee cup isn't going to hurt you like Brad down the street might.
True. Bear man.
Brad from the bar.
All right, round 2, the famous gerbil story. Okay, so a certain 90s heartthrob was rumored to have had an incident, I'm using quotations if you're listening, not watching, involving a gerbil and his backside. Kink or urban legend, friends?
That's got to be an urban legend. But I feel like it could be real.
Yeah, I've done some research on this.
But poor gerbil, like, if it is real, how the heck did it breathe? Like, how long did it survive there?
Yeah, so I did research on this a long time ago, just because I was curious. It was one of those, like, my brain wouldn't shut off. I think that the story about the 90s heartthrob was just urban legend. That wasn't real. But what I learned when I was doing that is that some people do have a kink for that. And I just want to preface this with saying we are not condoning this, because this is actually animal cruelty. So
Agreed.
This is not something where everyone's a consensual player and no one's getting harmed. So not saying that. But with that said, what I read was that some people enjoyed that because as the gerbil was trying to get out, it would create a sensation that they would enjoy.
Right. If you hop on our website, we have products for that now.
Yes.
And they are safe, and you are safe.
Even like rotating balls, it just like you don't have to
Leave the gerbils alone. Leave the gerbils alone.
Call the not safe for brunch girls.
Yeah,
we got you.
Don't do that. So yeah, I'm gonna say false, like about that specific person, but everything's a kink for someone, you know.
Yes, agreed.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think that falls into kink. I think that falls into cruel.
With the gerbil.
Yes.
Correct. It's fine if you're not using an animal.
Yes. If it's a mechanical gerbil, that's okay.
We have something that mimics that.
Yeah, get a Furby.
With a flange. Right? That's why people end up in the hospital. Do that.
Yeah.
This rumor has been around forever, but no, it's not real.
Okay, round 3. Balloon fetish. Looners. There's an entire fetish community dedicated to balloons, blowing them up, sitting on them, and even popping as a turn on. Kink or urban legend?
I think it's a kink. I think people do whatever the hell they want. Give her.
Yeah, I mean, I also think it's a kink, just because, falling into what I said earlier, that everything's a kink for someone. But I also want to say that I just find this one really funny, because balloons are like one of the things that I hate the most in the world. Like, I hate balloons. Oh my God. I get anxious if a balloon is in the same room as me, especially if it's white or yellow. I don't know what it is about those ones. They pop easier. I hate balloons. So if my partner had this fetish, we would have to have some discussions.
I was going to ask you, would that be a deal breaker? What would happen?
We'd probably have to have like balloon night, where you go in your room with your balloons.
Yeah, that's a solo adventure.
Do condoms count? Like, if you take condoms and blow them up like balloons?
I don't know. Do they? Maybe. Do they pop though? They don't pop like a balloon, do they? No.
Well, I think they're designed not to.
Go ask my son for some condoms. I'll freak him out.
I have some in my drawer. Maybe I'll blow one up and try and pop it. All right.
Yeah. I'm curious about why it might be an arousal for some people, though. Like, what is it? Is it the air? Is it the bouncing of it? Is it the noise? I'm very curious. If we have any Looners out there, we would be very interested if you would email in to notsafeforbrunch@gmail.com. We would love to hear about the experience of being a Looner. Absolutely. I'm in.
Mhm. I
That
would
would
be
be a cool thing, like,
fascinated.
just to
Yeah.
talk to people who have these different
Yeah,
fetishes, like,
for
to
sure.
really get to understand, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
because
it'd
you
be
know that we
anonymous.
are all about learning. If we don't have the experience, we always want to hear about it so that we can participate at least in the knowledge of.
Okay, round 4 is foot fetish. And this would be the most mainstream kink. You know, feet are some of the most commonly fetishized body parts with entire marketplaces dedicated to
Mhm.
buying pictures, socks, even worn shoes, mailing your smelly socks across the country. Kink or urban legend?
Mm,
Totally kink.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is one of those least taboo kinks. You know, it's very common. It's something that people aren't afraid to talk about, which I mean, I think every kink we should make people less afraid to talk about, which is why we would appreciate a Looner conversation or any of the other
Any
any of the other ones we're discussing today. But yeah, even celebrities like Quentin Tarantino has been well known as having a foot fetish. So
Hmm.
there's lots of stories in Hollywood for people that he's dated that he's just really into the feet. And I mean, I think there's worse things you can be into.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. We will not begrudge you your feet, Tarantino.
Yeah. And if you're with someone who's into feet, you know, you are always going to have your pedicures paid for. You're always
Mm.
going to have really nice shoes that they're going to buy you.
Well, shit, I screwed up.
Yeah. I did not put the emphasis on the right things. I do think that there is something that can be very sensual about feet. Feet really are the window into the body in general. I love reflexology. Obviously, I don't feel that way about my reflexologist, but I think that when I like her a lot, but not that much. But I think that because it does actually affect our body when our feet are touched, there is something that as long as you're not ticklish, obviously, if you're overtly ticklish, that could be problematic. But there's just something about the touching of the feet. And it can be very intimate because sometimes our feet are not the prettiest body part we own. But if somebody's willing to rub or touch feet in pantyhose, there's a lot of people who love some feet and some pantyhose.
A lot of cultures have these traditions around washing someone else's feet, and it's a sign of I'm honoring you. I'm subservient to you in a way, maybe not always, but in this moment. So I think that there's actually something kind of beautiful about a foot fetish, really.
Yeah. All right, let's go to round 5. Symphorophilia, getting off on natural disasters. Now, first of all, if I have pronounced that incorrectly, I expect to be corrected. That's also my kink, just in case you're wondering. I'm just kidding. All right, so getting off on natural disasters. Do you think that's a kink or an urban legend?
I feel like it should be an urban legend, but I feel like the shock, like for me, when I see things like this, I'm like, oh, and all I'm thinking about are like those poor people, you
Right.
know? But I feel like that shock and awe could be also a kink. So,
I
Mm.
think that also with the natural endorphins that are increased in those moments, I wonder
mhm.
if they
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because if you're actually in one of those moments where there's a natural disaster happening, I mean, I don't think in that moment you're going to be like, oh, but once it's all said and done and the adrenaline is kind of pushing through you and you're just grateful to be alive, like
yeah.
I can see how you'd be like, got to do it now. We almost died, got to create life. Even if you're menopausal, can't, whatever, hormones got a hormone.
I also think that it to your point is that that could also create a pattern,
Right.
right? So when someone might experience something like being in a car crash and then, engaging afterwards in sex or some sort of relational experience, that feeling could be something that you now crave, that you now desire. So let's talk about it. So it is real. All right. Symphorophilia, gosh, I hope I'm saying that right, is rare, but it is documented. And it's even the basis for the 1996 film Crash. So when somebody had, I think there was like an amputee, and then somebody really enjoyed being with this amputee. It was very
Hmm.
interesting if you are open minded enough for it. So is this extreme?
Well,
Psychological? Is it adrenaline chasing? What is it?
Well, I think the fact that it's rare, it's probably a little extreme. I don't know. I can't relate in any way, shape, or form to this one.
Yeah, I can't either.
All right, and round 6, our final round, Objectophilia. Getting turned on by farts. Some people are wildly aroused by the sound, smell, and act of farting, whether it's their own or someone else's. Kink or urban legend?
That's a kink. There's someone I follow on TikTok who, and actually, I don't even know if I follow her. She just shows up in my feed.
Oh, you know why that is.
Well, because her stories are so interesting. She was a reality contestant and she started selling her farts in a jar. And she was mailing them to people and getting a lot of money for these farts in the jar. And the reason she showed up on my feed is because I want to say her brother disinvited her from her wedding because of her pastimes. And I love everyone else's tea. So that's why I'm just like, but really, I've got a lot. I mean, I could make some money. We can send them in a bag.
I was going to say straight from the bag.
With a little extra for you.
A little colostomy humor. No biggie. Yeah, I would like to believe it's an urban legend, but I actually do think it's a kink. I have no frame of reference for this one.
This one is real. It is a legit fetish.
Interesting.
Yeah, there are people paying top dollar for custom fart videos.
Well, that was a wild ride. I'm not quite sure what's worse, the fact that some of these are real or that I now have follow-up questions that I'm a little scared to Google.
Right? I came in thinking that I knew a lot, but now I need a full reboot of my brain. Also, if you're into the Looner thing, I just want to talk about it. No judgment. I just have some questions. Just call me.
Right? Whatever you're into, as long as it's legal and consensual, do your thing. But if your thing involves natural disasters, maybe talk to a therapist or the Weather Channel. And also the gerbil thing. Let's just be kind to animals.
Yes, absolutely. And on that note, we want to hear from you. Have you ever come across a kink that made you do a double take? Or do you have one that we didn't cover that you think would stump us? Send us a DM, send us a comment. And if it's really wild, you can use a burner account. But everything's confidential when you message us. We're never going to put you on blast. But like Vicky said, we just want to talk. We just want to talk.
Yeah, I have questions. I want to know the things.
Thanks for pulling up a chair at our unapologetic brunch table today. If you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. It's like tipping your server, but for podcasts. And hey, sign up for our weekly newsletter using the link in the show notes so you never miss the juiciest, most unfiltered chats we're serving up. Remember, brunch isn't just about the mimosas. It's about the authentic connection and keeping it unapologetically real. Until next time, let's keep the brunch vibes alive and the conversation flowing.